checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the face. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates. Connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you start to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the face. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates. Connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates. Connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road, guys. This is the Emergency Management Associates. We're on the air for all of you around the globe, here in America, and literally around the world. We appreciate each and every one of you being here with us. God bless you, and thank you for joining us here on Emergency Management Associates today. It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name's Ron Tyler. I'm the President, CEO of Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you live from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina, guys. It's a fun time to be alive. It really is. It's a lot of fun, guys. Okay? Now, one of the first things I want to do today, okay, I'm going to get the politics out in the front right off the bat. I'm going to tell you about someone who was sentenced today to life in prison plus 5 years. Life in prison plus 5 years. Okay? That's what he got. Okay? Oh, crap. Doggone it. Hold on a second. I thought I had this picture already on the database here, and I've got it now. Give me just a second here, guys. Timothy Ruth, or I should say Timothy Ryan Ruth. Remember him? Remember this guy? 2 years ago, when President Trump was running for office, Ryan Ruth was on the golf course
just outside the golf course, actually, and he was in the bushes near where President Trump golfs. He's waiting in the bushes. He had an assault-style weapon, ready to take out President Trump, and actually, we believe he fired the weapon. Today, he was sentenced to 7 years plus life in prison plus 7 years. Sentenced to life in prison plus 7 years for attempting to kill President Trump. Incredible. We've had 2 assassination attempts on President Trump in the last 3 years. 2 attempted assassination attempts on President Trump since July 13th, 2024. 2 years, I'm sorry. 2 years. Okay? This has got to stop. Okay? Yes, there have been a couple other attempts that the FBI and Secret Service hasn't told us about. But this has got to stop. The protests that have been happening all around this country must stop immediately. Immediately. Earlier this morning, Tom Homan, President Trump's border czar, went on the air with Fox News, with news media. He went on the air and said that the investigations in Minnesota are not going to stop. He's got the cooperation of almost all the police departments and all the sheriff's offices in Minnesota. Almost all of them. The ones he hasn't talked to, they're getting negotiations. They're going through negotiations right now. He's going to meet with those sheriffs. He's going to meet with those chief of police. Those are going to happen. We're going to get the presence and cooperation of all the police departments and all the sheriff's offices around Minnesota as well. Now, to some extent, Governor Walz is going along with what Tom Homan wants, but not everything. To some extent, Mayor of Minneapolis is also going along with it, but not everything. These guys want to do their own thing. But at least we have the police department's presence on the streets to help protect our border agents, help protect our immigration customs enforcement agents. Right now, this is a good thing, okay? Right now, when the jails have a subject that they have arrested that's an illegal alien or an alien who has committed many crimes, okay? Committed many crimes. Those are going to jail right now. They're also going to be, when they are released, the jail and the prisons are going to tell ICE, Immigration's Customs Enforcement, when they're to be released. And now the jails and prisons are cooperating with the federal government. Instead of having to go out on the streets and find these idiots, as the police were instructed to just release them back in the streets to commit more crimes, to rape and pillage and murder people. That's not going to happen anymore in Minnesota. Okay? Immigration's Customs Enforcement have had the right. Now they are being cooperated with, and now those people are going to be deported out of this country. No more putting them back out on the streets to commit more crimes or hurt anybody else. They're going to be deported, period. Now, I'm going to tell you this, okay? What has happened in Minnesota and other states around this country must stop. Minnesota, as other states have done, have brought in those illegal aliens to vote for Democrats. They brought the illegals in to vote for Democrats. Okay? They did it on purpose. But because of what President Trump has done in deporting these illegals, the voter base of these illegals have been semi-stopped. There's still illegals out there registered to vote. And Minnesota governor is allowing it to happen. But as more and more of these people are arrested by ICE and deported out of Minnesota and taken back to their countries, what has happened is that people like Ilhan Omar, a congresswoman from Minneapolis, from Somalia, these illegal aliens are being stopped. being arrested. People like Ilhan Omar of Congress are going to be taken out of Congress. Their seats are abolished, and they're going to be deported back to the country where they came from. In Minnesota alone, they're going to lose up to 7 seats in Minnesota. They're going to lose up to 7 seats in Minnesota alone. California, the same thing. Okay? They're going to lose. Now, Chuck Schumer and his people in Washington want to stop President Trump. That's not going to happen. Okay? They're not going to be allowed to do that. Okay? I'm just telling you, they're not going to be allowed to do that. What's happened in the past 2 to 3 years before President Trump took over is over. The Obama administration in the form of Joe Biden is over. They're over, guys. It's not going to be allowed to happen any longer. Okay? Not going to be allowed to happen any longer at all. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now, Raul, your message was taken off the chat because it was in Spanish. If you want to put anything on this chat, you need to have it in English, have it in only the beginning of the sentence in the capital letters. Everything else has to be in small letters, and it must be pertinent to what we're talking about. Okay? Can't be using swear words or anything else like that. Must be constructive. Must be constructive. Otherwise, it will be deleted and opt out of here. Okay? I'm talking to everybody that might be monitoring this channel. That's how we do business here. We don't condemn me. We don't condemn anybody else in the chat at all. Okay? If you condemn me, this is my house. This is my channel. My channel is in my house. So if you can condemn me, you're condemning my house, and you will be taken off the chat. And you won't be allowed on this channel any longer. Okay? My house, my rules. That's the way it is. Raul, you did it again. Okay? I'm going to remove it again. Everything must be in English, guys. Everything must be in English. All right. Anyway, enough of the politics now. Okay? Yes, I talk about politics when it affects people's lives. These are emergency times in our lives. That's why we talk about it. Okay? But now I want to talk about earthquakes. We want to talk about earthquakes now. Now I'm going to go and show you the USGS map. I'm going to show you the world map. We have some earthquakes we need to talk about. I'm going to take down our EMA banner so you can see these earthquakes. I'm going to take it down on webcam as well. I'm going to start over in Northern California, east of San Francisco Bay. San Ramon, California. San Ramon, California is still shaking. San Ramon, California is still shaking. San Ramon is just between the Hayward and the Calaveras Fault here. Calaveras Fault out to the east, to the right here, and the Hayward Fault out to the west on the east side of San Francisco Bay. Okay? Both of these faults are influencing what is happening here in San Ramon. This is the third day. This is the third day of continued seismic activity. Earthquakes in this area. These earthquakes are aftershocks of the main quake. The main quake was a 4.5 2 days ago. Remember that they downgraded it. The United States Geological Survey downgraded the earthquake to a 4.2. Okay? but we're still having earthquakes here today. Heidi Petrick just gave us a $5 super chat or $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Heidi. God bless you for that. I'm giving you an EMA sticker on your super chat. I'm also giving you a thumbs up for that. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Guys, if you want to help support this channel, you can give us super chats here on the EMA chat. Give us super chats here in the chat. Also, you see our PayPal locations scrolling across the bottom of your screen. You can go to our PayPal locations and also give us a donation. Our Venmo is not working right now. I've got it scrolling, but it doesn't work right now. Okay? You can also send us a donation to our postal address, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. You also see our Gmail address going across, our email, rltnspdema@gmail.com. You can send us comments and questions. You can give us ideas what you want us to talk about in this program, and we'll do it. We'll do it. Also, after this program is finished, right below this program here, right below the video, you're going to see comments. You're going to see comment section. Right below the video, you can go leave us a comment on what you think about our video. We'd appreciate that, guys. Also, please give us a thumbs up. Please give us a like, okay? That lets YouTube know that you like our program, you like what we're talking about, and you appreciate it being here. That lets YouTube know about that, and it also gives YouTube the opportunity to let people see this program. Lately, they have been not doing that because they don't like me for whatever reason. I know what the reason is, because they don't like my programming. But needless to say, our channel is still growing despite what USGS and what YouTube does. Okay? Our channel is growing. But again, we're talking about earthquakes here in San Ramon, California, east of San Francisco Bay. Right between two major fault zones. Right between two major fault zones. It's still happening. It's going to continue to happen for at least a while. Now, this could happen and happen for a long time. This could go on. Usually when we have seismic activity like this, when we have swarms of earthquakes, swarms mean the larger earthquakes can still happen. Okay? We could have up to a 7.5 earthquake here in this area. Up to a 7.5 earthquake in this area. Okay? That would be a major earthquake. That would be a major earthquake by anybody's standards. It can still happen. The last earthquake we had last November was a 4.5. 2 days ago, we had another 4.5. They downgraded to 4.2. The aftershocks are still continuing here. One of our own EMA family members lives in this area. They felt this quake. A lot of people felt this quake. Okay? People are saying it knocked dishes out of cupboards. It knocked plates and dishes and cups off of tables. Did some damage here. Knocked portraits and pictures off of walls. Knocked books and knickknacks off of bookshelves. That's what this kind of earthquake has done. That's what kind of things these kind of earthquakes, these moderate 4.0 to 4.9 earthquakes can do. That's what they are known for. Large earthquakes from 5.0 up to 10.0 are very destructive. They destroy homes. They destroy business buildings. They cause all hate and discontent. That's what these large earthquakes do. But these moderate 4.0, 4.9 can still do considerable damage. That's why we're talking about it here. Now I'm backing this out here so you can see where these earthquakes are. To the west, to the left-hand side of this slide here, you see the Hayward Fault here. Further over here to the west from these quakes, this is Fairfield, California. This is a 1.2 tremor on the Hayward Fault. 1.2 tremor on the Hayward Fault. Further out to the east, we have no earthquakes exactly on the Calaveras. It does happen though. Just because it doesn't happen today does not mean it won't. But again, where we see these swarms of earthquakes here, we could still have a large to major earthquake happening in this area. I'm just putting that out there. We cannot let our guard down. We need to prepare for these quakes. We need to prepare for our families to withstand these quakes and to get through the quakes. That's why we're here. That's what Emergency Management Associates does. We prepare people for all kinds of damages from disasters of any kind. That's what we're known for. Okay? Now, further down the Hayward Fault here, you see some earthquakes here. Further down the Hayward Fault, you see some earthquakes here. This is a 2.0, Sunol, California. This is the third day we're seeing 2.0 minor earthquakes happening in Sunol, California on the Hayward Fault. Further south, Alum Rock, California. This is a 1.4 tremor. This is also one of the most dangerous places to be. Why? Because this is where the Calaveras and the Hayward Fault come together. They come together closer to the San Andreas Fault to the west. All three of these faults are major earthquake faults. Very dangerous earthquake faults. Three of the most dangerous earthquake faults in the world are right here. South of San Francisco Bay, all of these faults, all three of these faults come together here. Very dangerous thing. Down here is Monterey Bay on the west side of this slide here. Monterey Bay, California. South of Monterey Bay here on the San Andreas Fault. This is another 2.0 earthquake, minor earthquake. Tres Pinos, California. 9 miles south of Tres Pinos, California. Further to the south and along the coastline. This is Lopez Point, California, on the Oceana Fault. The Oceana Fault. This is a 1.3 tremor here. We go further south here, on the San Andreas. Parkfield, California here. Parkfield, California is the earthquake capital of California. More earthquakes happen here than anywhere else in the world. This is another minor 2.8 earthquake on the fault line, directly on the fault line at Parkfield, California. Okay? South of here, south and west of here. This is Templeton, California. Templeton, California. This is a 1.0 tremor here. 1.0 tremor on the Oceana Fault here. Further down here to the south, right here. This is Similar, California. 1.3 tremor here in Similar, California. 1.3 tremor is less than a minor earthquake, just a tremor. Nobody feels minor earthquakes, nobody feels tremors either. The only earthquakes that can be felt is anywhere from 3.0 or larger quakes. Anywhere from 3.0, 3.9 small quakes and larger quakes than that. Okay? Tremors cannot be felt. Okay? Now I'm going to get into Southern California in just a minute. Over by Santa Barbara today, right here, Ojai, California. 4 miles southwest of Ojai, California. OJAI, California. This is a 1.5 tremor here. 1.5 tremor here. Now, before I get any closer to Southern California, I need to talk about a few things here. Okay? There is some consternation by something that was put on YouTube earlier by another creator. Okay? Right here. Okay? You see the Clear Lake volcano right here? Yes, guys, this is the Clear Lake volcano. Okay? Just to the south there in Sonoma County, California. We have some swarms of earthquakes. This is normal. This happens every day. These earthquakes are not tectonic plate earthquakes. These earthquakes are not tectonic fault earthquakes. These earthquakes are due from men drilling into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano. These earthquakes happen. These earthquakes happen because men have drilled into the Clear Lake volcano here to obtain steam to power turbines here in what they call the geysers facility. The geysers facility here. You notice earthquakes here. Every day we have earthquakes, sometimes more earthquakes than others. Yesterday we had 42 earthquakes here in the geysers facility. 42 earthquakes in the Sonoma County area, right here. Now today, guys, we don't have that many earthquakes. Just for everybody's kicks and giggles here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 earthquakes here. 16, 17 earthquakes here. One more earthquake down in the south down here. 18 earthquakes. Yesterday we had 42. Today is more typical of the earthquakes that we have here. This one down here, southeast of the geysers, is 1.1 tremor here. 1.1 tremor. This red earthquake that you see here on the slide here, the red earthquake just happened. This also is a 1.0 tremor. Tremors are not felt earthquakes. But why do these earthquakes happen? Because men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of that lake, that volcano. The upper magma chambers of that volcano, the Clear Lake volcano. The seismic energy comes off of the Pacific plate. The Pacific plate where the ocean is. The seismic energy is moving west and north. When it comes off of the Pacific plate, it comes over here to the North American continent, the North American plate. Each one of these drill points is a man-made earthquake fault. Each one of these drill points where men drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to obtain steam, to power turbines to generate electricity here in the geysers geothermal facility. Man-made earthquake faults. Man-made earthquake faults here, guys. Let's zoom in here. Okay? I want to show you one of the turbine facilities here. There are a total of 81 turbines in this area. A total of 81 turbines in the Sonoma County area in the geysers facility. The steam powers the turbines to generate electricity here in this area. Over 850,000 people receive power from the geysers facility. Over 850,000 people receive power from the geysers facility. This is just one of the geysers turbine facilities here. Just one of their facilities here. A total of 81 turbines are in this area, this region. 81 turbines are in this region, guys. That's how they generate electricity here. Okay, now up here. See this area right here? Down here in the ground, it's hard to see in this slide here. This is one of many drill points. One of many drill points. There are PVC pipe coming from the drill points. The PVC pipes are along the side of the roadways here. And the PVC pipes go down to the turbine facilities. They go down to the turbine facilities here. That's one of them. That's one of them. Like I said, there are numerous facilities here. A total of 81 turbines in this area, in the hills of Sonoma County, California. That's what they do here. That's what they do here. Right here, I just found another one. This is another turbine facility. Like I said, you see PVC pipe running along the side of the roadways here. The PVC pipe carries the steam from the volcano to the turbines here to generate electricity. That's why we have earthquakes here. That's why we have earthquakes here. Right here off to the southeast side of that turbine facility. This is another drill point area. These are drill points where men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to obtain steam to generate electricity here in the geysers facility. Turbines all over this area. Literally, turbines are everywhere. Just because I don't show you all the turbine facilities doesn't mean they're not there. They are there. 81 different turbines all throughout this area. Okay? Now, the other person here on YouTube was saying these earthquakes were due to earthquake faults. That is so very wrong. Yes, there are earthquake faults on either side of Clear Lake. Let me take this USGS map down for just a minute. I want to show you what is here. It's very helpful to know what is actually going on here. Okay? That's not it. This is Clear Lake right here. That's Clear Lake. This is a slide here showing the faults here around Clear Lake. Okay? Off to the east side of the geysers facility here, the geothermal facility. Okay? This is just one of the faults. Just one of the faults here. Now, I believe this is called Kolayami Fault Zone. Over here in the west. This is a Mahakama fault here. And further down here to the south, there's another fault that's not here on the map. But down here, you see the geysers facility here, Sonoma County, California. This whole field here has numerous turbine facilities here, all throughout this area. And further north, we have the Clear Lake. We have the Clear Lake, the volcano. But again, I wanted to emphasize these earthquakes do not happen because of the faults. Yes, there are faults there. There are faults there. Yes, we've had two 4.5 earthquakes over here in the geysers facility in the last year. Two 4.5 moderate earthquakes here in the geysers facility. I believe every one of these earthquakes are due to men drilling into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to obtain steam to generate electricity here in the geysers facility. That's why they're there. Now, if we have an earthquake on the fault, you're going to see earthquakes on the east side or the west side of the fault, or way down south of the geysers, way down south of the geysers facility. Then that would be a fault zone earthquake. Nothing to do with the geysers facility. But because we have earthquakes in the geysers facility, those earthquakes are due to the magma chambers being drilled into. Those are man-made earthquake faults. Man-made earthquake faults. Okay? Do we have any questions about this? Do we have any questions? Okay? The same thing happens in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, where men have drilled into the crust of the earth to obtain steam or oil and gas. Same difference. When the seismic energy comes through that area, it fractures the rock in that drill point, fractures the rock inside that drill point, causing earth movement. That's why these earthquakes are here. I want to make sure everybody understands this. Okay? The other person here on YouTube was making a big deal about it, saying, oh, we're going to have a major earthquake over here because these earthquakes from the geysers facility. That's not the case. That's not the case. I want to make that point perfectly clear. Yes, we could have a major earthquake on the faults themselves. But not necessarily here in the geysers facility area. Not necessarily in the geysers facility area. The fault is over here to the east, right here. Over here to the west as well. That's why we have these faults here. Down here, right here in this area here, north of Santa Rosa, California. There's a fault zone right here where you see this highway side here. Right here in the city, just north of Santa Rosa. There's a fault zone right here. There's a fault zone right here. It runs east and west here. Okay? Then as we told you weeks ago, we had a 4.7 earthquake here near Santa Rosa. Just east of Santa Rosa. Okay? We had all kinds of swarms of earthquakes here for about a week. Those earthquakes have died down. Those earthquakes have died down here. Okay? That's what's going on here. Okay? The geysers facility here is over 100 miles from the San Francisco Bay. 100 miles north of San Francisco Bay. Okay? Closer down here to the Bay Area, north of the Bay, Yountville, California. Yountville, California. This is a 1.6 tremor here. 1.6 tremor here near Yountville, California. Okay? This has nothing to do with the geysers, but it has everything to do with the Hayward Fault. This earthquake is 7 miles east of Yountville, California, on the Hayward Fault. You can actually see the Hayward Fault right here, running south down here to the east side of San Francisco Bay. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? Okay? Now let's go down here to Southern California. Actually, before we get to Southern California, I want to go back to the world map here. I want to go down here into the Southern Pacific Ocean. Down here. Okay? Down here early this morning in the Kermadec Island region. The Kermadec Islands belong to New Zealand. However, they are hundreds of miles north of New Zealand. Over here in the Kermadec Islands, we had a 6.1 very strong earthquake. 6.0, 6.9 are very strong earthquakes. This was a 6.1 very strong earthquake here in the Kermadec Islands. Now, just so everybody knows, no one lives here in the Kermadec Islands. The Kermadec Islands are a bird sanctuary. The only time humans go here are to check on birds. They can only go here into the Kermadec Islands when it's high tide. Otherwise, with low tide, their boats will be scraped on top of jagged volcanic rock here in the Kermadec Islands, and the boats would sink. They can only go in here to the Kermadec Islands either by helicopter or by boat during high tide. Nobody lives here. But this was a 6.1 earthquake early this morning. 6.1 earthquake at about 5:38 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. 6.1 earthquake here in the Kermadec Islands. South of the Kermadec Islands, this is an aftershock. This is a 4.4 magnitude aftershock, moderate earthquake. Now again, USGS is not showing all the earthquakes here. 6.1 earthquakes generate a lot of aftershocks. USGS is not showing them here. That's what USGS does. Okay? Further north here, this is a 5.3 earthquake. All three of these earthquakes are 6.2 miles deep. Very shallow earthquakes. Up to the north and south of the Fiji Islands. South of the Fiji Islands here. This is a 5.0. This is a large 5.0 earthquake. Guys, I want to tell you this. This is still fairly shallow earthquake. 214 miles deep. 214 miles deep. This is a semi-deep quake. Why am I talking about deep earthquakes? When we see earthquakes 300, 400 miles deep, those are very deep earthquakes. Very deep earthquakes can propagate or birth a larger, shallower quake. A larger, shallower quake. This earthquake is not that deep, so we're not going to see any earthquakes being birthed after this earthquake happens today. But deep, very deep earthquakes can propagate larger, shallower earthquakes. Okay? That's what happened here in the South Pacific today. But what USGS is also not telling you, down here in New Zealand itself, there are 36 earthquakes here. 36 earthquakes on the North and South Islands of New Zealand. They're showing us one earthquake here near Christchurch, New Zealand. This is a 4.3 moderate earthquake near Witherlea, New Zealand. Witherlea, New Zealand, here near Christchurch, New Zealand. Okay? 4.3 earthquake. It's not the only earthquake here either. There are numerous other earthquakes here and on the north part of the South Island. There are all kinds of earthquakes here on the North Island. All kinds of earthquakes here on the North Island. 27 earthquakes here in New Zealand here. 27 earthquakes here. That's a lot. And USGS is only showing us one. That's pretty sad. That's very sad. Down here in southeastern New Zealand, there is a 3.2 earthquake right here. Right here near Victoria, Australia. USGS is not showing it, are they? Yesterday over here east of Melbourne, we had a 2.8 earthquake here. They're not showing that one either. The day before that up here in northern Australia, we had a 2.7 earthquake here. They didn't show that one either. Today over here in Indonesia here, they're showing us two earthquakes. Two earthquakes here in Indonesia. There are 46 earthquakes here in Indonesia. 62 earthquakes here in Indonesia yesterday. They don't like showing these things. Why? This is a highly trafficked earthquake area. Why? Because there are 7 different subduction zones here. 7 different subduction zones here, ranging over here from Tonga and Samoa, Australia, Papua New Guinea, Papua Indonesia here, all the way over here into Sumatra, all the way up here into the Philippines, all the way up here to Taiwan, all the way up here to Japan. 7 different tectonic plates in this region. 7 different tectonic plates in this region, guys. One subducting under the other here. One subduction, one tectonic plate going underneath another, just like this. Deep diving subduction zone. Deep diving tectonic plates. That's why we have so many earthquakes here. But again, the United States Geological Survey used to show these quakes. They don't anymore. For whatever the reason is, they don't do it. They should, because lives depend on knowing what's going on. Because if you know what's going on with earthquakes, you can kind of get an idea where the next earthquake is going to come to. That way you can prepare for it. Prepare your family to survive the quake. Now, there's a reason I'm going to talk to you about these earthquakes here. It's necessary. Over here east of Java, Indonesia here. East of Java, Indonesia here. We have another large earthquake right here. This is a 5.1 earthquake here. 5.1 large earthquake. 5.3 miles deep. Okay? Just a little less than 10 kilometers deep. Large earthquake here. Look where it's at. This is in the Banda Sea here. Look where this earthquake is at. right on top of a tectonic plate. Right on top of a tectonic plate. That's why this earthquake happened. Large earthquake right here. Over here in the southwest. Look where this earthquake occurred. Literally right on top of another tectonic plate here. A 4.2 moderate earthquake over here in Timor-Leste, Indonesia. 4.2 earthquake here. And yet USGS is determined not to show earthquakes here. All kinds of earthquakes throughout this entire region. Over here in the Philippines, over 1 million people live here in the Philippines. They are showing us one earthquake here. Off the northeast coast of Mindanao, Philippines. Mindanao, Philippines is the largest island in the Philippines. The southernmost and the largest island in the Philippines. This earthquake is a 5.0 earthquake. 5.0 earthquake, 19 miles east-northeast of Cortes, Philippines. This earthquake was close enough to the shore to be felt. Close enough to the shore to be felt. Look where it's at. Just west of the plate. On top of the plate, but just west of the plate. The Philippine earthquake fault. 5.0 earthquake here. 34 miles deep. Shallow quake. Okay. Further north here. Right here. Okay. We've been having a lot of earthquakes in this region here. This is a 4.7 earthquake here. A moderate 4.7 earthquake. Moderate earthquakes do moderate damage. Knocking knickknacks and books off shelves. Rattling plates, dishes, and glasses in cupboards. Knocking pictures and portraits off of walls. Guess where this earthquake hit? Right alongside the shoreline here. Right alongside the shoreline of a major island here. Yes, people do live in this region. People live in this region, guys. Literally right here. Literally right here. 4.7 moderate earthquake here. I think it's only 2 miles southeast of Recodo, Philippines. But actually it's not even that. This is southwest. Not southeast, but southwest of Recodo, Philippines. Unreal. Unreal. Up here to the north. This is Luzon, Philippines here to the north. They had a 4.2 earthquake right here this morning. USGS isn't showing it. 4.2 earthquake here this morning. They're not showing the earthquake. Unreal. Unreal. Going over here to Southeast Asia. Burma, what they call Myanmar now. Yesterday we had a large earthquake here, a 5.1 earthquake. Today we have a 4.5 in the same area. 4.5 aftershock. 4.5 aftershock. 86 miles deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. Burma, Myanmar region. I'm going to back out here. They're not showing any earthquakes over here east or west of the Himalaya Mountains. There are earthquakes here. There are earthquakes here. These are moderate earthquakes. There's 5 of them. 5 moderate earthquakes here. This is a hilly region. Yes, they have homes, apartments made out of mud, mud bricks, unreinforced masonry. When we have earthquakes in this region, people's homes fall. People's homes fall apart. We had a 6.1 earthquake several months ago here in Afghanistan. We had deaths. We had injuries. We had demolished homes, unreinforced mud homes. That's what we probably saw this morning here in Afghanistan and Tajikistan where these earthquakes hit. Look all over Europe here. Look all over Europe. They're showing one earthquake here. One lousy earthquake here in Greece. There are 18 earthquakes here in Greece. They're showing one. This is a 4.1 earthquake here. They have it 4 miles northwest of Bilshi, Albania, north of Greece. Bilshi, Albania, north of Greece. 18 earthquakes here in Greece. They're not showing one. Not one of them. There are earthquakes here. Sicily and Italy have earthquakes here. They're not showing one. Not even one. Earthquakes here in the Alps Mountains. I showed you them yesterday. Earthquakes over here in Germany and France. They're not showing any of them. Nothing. Spain the same way. Not one earthquake. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. 42 earthquakes along the western coastline of South America. They show us one earthquake here. One 4.8 earthquake here in northern Chile, near Calama, Chile. 4.8 moderate earthquake here. 46 miles deep, shallow quake. 42 earthquakes, they show one. That's sad. That's sad. Over here, this again is in the Galapagos Islands. We had a large earthquake here in the Galapagos Islands last week. This is another large 4.9, 5.0 earthquake here in the Galapagos Island region here, off the coast of Galapagos Island. They're not showing 13 earthquakes here in Central America. They're not showing 50 plus earthquakes here in southern Mexico. Southern Mexico, between Puerto Vallarta here and down here where southern Mexico hits Guatemala. Why are they not showing them? My idea is this. They don't want us to know about it because earthquakes here travel north. They travel north along the fault lines. The fault lines lead up to California. The fault lines here lead up to California. Yes, we have earthquakes here in Southern California. Quite a few earthquakes here in Southern California. First off, before I go there, Mexico. This is a 2.7 magnitude earthquake here near Delta, Mexico. 6 miles northwest of Delta, Mexico. Okay? Look where it's at. I'm zooming in here to tell you where it's at, show you where it's at. Look where it's at, guys. It's at a geothermal facility here in northern Mexico. It's at a geothermal facility here in northern Mexico. What's going on here? Men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano. They drilled into the magma chamber of the Cerro Prieto volcano right here. Right there. You know it's a Cerro Prieto volcano because it has a phoenix carved into the lava rock at the summit of the volcano. They've drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Cerro Prieto volcano to obtain steam, to generate electricity for the people here in northern Mexico. Just like they've done over at the Salton Sea, just like they've done in the Geysers facility, just like they've done in the Coza volcanic facility, just like they've done in the facility north of Reno, Nevada. Geothermal facilities, guys. That's what they're doing here. And we have a 2.7 minor earthquake here. This is one of the wastewater holding facilities here. They pump wastewater into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to help produce steam, to generate electricity here. That's what they're doing here. It's been a long time since we've seen an earthquake at a geothermal facility here in Mexico. I want to show you that. This is important. It can still happen here in Mexico as well. Okay, let's go north. I want to show you some earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley here. Imperial Valley here. This earthquake right here. This is 4 miles west of Imperial, the town of Imperial here. 4 miles west of the town of Imperial. This is a 1.1 tremor. Interesting. 1.1 tremor here. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you a sidegram from the town of Imperial. It hardly shows anything going on here. It's pretty sad that the agency scrubs ideas, scrubs the data from the seismograms, not showing what's going on. Yet we have a 1.1 tremor here, just west of Imperial City, the town of Imperial here in Imperial County. South of Imperial, we have El Centro. El Centro here. I'm going to show you a sidegram from El Centro showing earthquakes. Tremors and earthquakes here in El Centro. One of our own family members lives here in El Centro. He and his family feels these earthquakes, as do everybody that lives here. I don't know whether Juanito is here going to join us here today, but he lives here in El Centro. I'm trying to show you where places are that we're going to check out earthquakes here in the Imperial County area. Over here, Holdville. This is the town of Holdville here. I'm going to show you a sidegram from Holdville in a few minutes. Earthquakes here, guys. Earthquakes here in Holdville. Now, up here near Calipatria, there's a town here called Calipatria, but they shut off the seismograph. They shut down the seismograph over here in Calipatria for whatever reason. They shut off the seismograph here in Calipatria. The Calipatria seismogram was always showing us earthquakes. Anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes here in Calipatria every day. Every day. They shut down the seismograph here. Sad day. Sad day. Over here, southwest of the Salton Sea here. This is a town called Westmoreland. We used to have a seismograph here. We'd see all kinds of tremors here in Westmoreland. We'd see minor earthquakes here in Westmoreland. All kinds of minor earthquakes here in Westmoreland. And occasionally small 3-point earthquakes as well. But they shut off the seismograph here in Westmoreland as well. I don't know whether they're going to reactivate those seismographs. Over here, in the Salton Sea, the southern part of the Salton Sea, this is where the Salton Butte volcano is. Underneath the water here, in the southern Salton Sea is where the Salton Butte volcano is. Okay, why is this important? Again, over here in the northern part of the Imperial Valley and all around the Imperial Valley, there are drill points where men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to obtain steam to generate electricity for Imperial Gas and Electric. Right here, this is just one of the steam facilities here. This is just one of the steam facilities. Here you see turbines here that are spun by the steam from the Salton Butte volcano. Right there. Guys, there are 30 turbines here in the Salton Butte volcano facilities. 30 turbines here in the Salton Butte volcano facilities, all around the Imperial Valley. All around the Imperial Valley. That's what they do here. That's what they do here, guys. This is another facility right here. I think there's one other right here. Right there. You see the turbines here. Okay? That's what they do here in the Imperial Valley. Okay? Now north of the Imperial Valley, up here in Indio, California, the beginning of last week, we saw a good-sized 5.1 earthquake hit here, Indio, California, near the San Andreas Fault. Near the San Andreas Fault here. Look where the fault is, guys. Running all the way down here to the east side of the Salton Sea. This is on the east side of the San Andreas Fault. We are still seeing aftershocks of that quake. We have a 1.4 tremor here. We have a 1.7 tremor. We have a 1.3 tremor here. This is another 1.7. And right here, this is the 2.1 minor earthquake. 2.1 minor earthquake here. Seismic activity still sits here. These are all aftershocks of that 5.1 earthquake here in Indio, California, just a week or so ago. The area is still moving. The San Andreas Fault is still moving, guys. It's locked and loaded here. The San Andreas Fault is locked and loaded here. Over here to the north, Beaumont, California, just west of the San Andreas Fault, 1.1 tremor here. Going north on the San Andreas Fault here, Muscoa, California, 1.6 tremor here. Further north here, just west of the San Andreas, Little Creek, California. Little Creek, California is 1.1 tremor here. Further south, right here, Loma Linda, California, home of the world-renowned Loma Linda Medical Center. We have 1.2 tremor here. We also have 1.2 tremor here. Seismic activity happening here, guys. This is on the San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault here. Loma Linda Medical Center is right there, just north of these earthquakes. Just north of these earthquakes. Earthquakes do happen here. Down here in Home Gardens, California. This is just south of Corona. This is a 1.6 tremor here. Down here, this is on the Elsinore Fault, Lake Elsinore, California. Lake Elsinore, California is right there. Just north of Lake Elsinore, we have a 1.5 tremor here. Interesting enough. Going north here, Glen Ivy, California here. They're not showing earthquakes here, but there are earthquakes here at Glen Ivy, California. I'm going to show you a diagram here from Glen Ivy, California. We have earthquakes here. But again, USGS is not showing them, whatever the reason. Further over here to the southwest, Ladera Ranch. Ladera Ranch. This is a 0.8 microquake. 0.8 microquake. There are other earthquakes here as well. Long Beach. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Long Beach. There are earthquakes here. Long Beach, California, there are earthquakes. Anaheim, California. There are earthquakes here in Anaheim, California as well. All over LA. All over Los Angeles, there are earthquakes. I'm going to show you a diagram showing you with the earthquakes. The greater Los Angeles area has over 400 earthquakes a day. Over 400 earthquakes a day, guys. We're going to show you those earthquakes right now. Again, look at this area. They're not showing you hardly anything going on. They are hiding the data. They're hiding the data on the map. They're hiding even more data on the seismograms. They are lying. They have extracted or erased data on the seismograms. Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible what this agency gets away with. Yes, they get away with it, guys. This is a sad state of affairs. They get away with it. Now, let's go over here to Southern California seismograms. Okay? This is a seismogram in Southern California in Los Angeles area. Off the coast of LA, there's an island called Channel Island. Channel Island. Yes, we've had small earthquakes here. We've had tremors here. We've had minor earthquakes here as well. Stay over here on Channel Island. Let's show you what's going on here. We have nothing but tremors here. I do not even see a minor earthquake here. Channel Island. Just because we don't see minor earthquakes doesn't mean they don't exist. Because we show you these here before. Yes, there is definitely evidence that there are large earthquakes here, but they are not showing them. They're not showing them. Let's continue here. Let's go over to Bakersfield out in the desert. University of Southern California, Bakersfield. It's where this seismograph is located. On the seismograph itself, look closely what we're showing you. Yes, we do have some tremors here. You see some tremors here. Tiny seismic events here called tremors. Okay? But here, there are also a couple 2.0 earthquakes here. A couple 2.0 earthquakes here, minor earthquakes. Bakersfield, California has seismic activity here. Okay? Let's go southeast of Los Angeles to a place called Cabazon. Cabazon, also out in the desert. Look what's happening here. Guys, this is on the San Andreas Fault. Right smack dab on the San Andreas Fault here. Long duration tremors. Up at the top on the right-hand side. The top black line here is 5 a.m. I'm sorry, 4 a.m. 4 a.m. this morning. Over here on the right side, you see tremors building up. 4:13, actually 4:12, 4:13, 4:14 a.m. Going over 4:15, 4:16, 4:17, all the way to 4:18 a.m. this morning. 5 minutes of long duration tremor activity. Then after 4:32 a.m. this morning on the blue line, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of long duration tremor activity. 1.0 to 1.3 tremors here. On the black line after 5 a.m. The second black line here to the top. The tremors here start just after 5 a.m. this morning. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 minutes. 12 minutes long duration tremors. 12 minutes long duration tremors, but during this 12-minute sequence, the tremor activity got up to 1.0 or 2.0 earthquake. Got up to 2.0 earthquake. The magnitude of the shaking got up to 2.0 minor earthquake. Again, minor earthquakes are not felt here. But I wanted to point this out because this is over on the east side of Los Angeles on the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault is locked and loaded here. Let's also go out to Idlewild. Basically in the bottom, or what they call the foothills, the San Bernardino Mountains. Idlewild here. There's a town here called Idlewild in the mountains. They have A-frame cabins. In the winter, people go there to ski. In the spring, summer, fall, they go there to hike. There are plenty of hotel rooms available, A-frame cabins. They have every kind of restaurant you can think of that has U.S. food. I think there's an Italian restaurant there. It's been a while since I've been in Idlewild. I ate there. I walked around Idlewild all day long. It was a lot of fun. Great place. But here, all you are seeing are tremors. Tremors, hit and miss tremors all day long. Idlewild, California. I have never seen a full-blown earthquake here in Idlewild, but just tremors. Just tremors. This is on the east side of the San Andreas Fault. Okay? Let's go further out to the desert to Rancho Mirage. Rancho Mirage, California. Look here. Yes, we've seen some minor earthquakes here in Rancho Mirage. We see tremor activity all the time. We have some short range tremors here. Short duration tremors here. Rancho Mirage, California. This is over on the east side of the San Andreas Fault. Rancho Mirage, California. Now, I want to go over on the San Andreas Fault over to Victorville. We have our dear friend Isaiah's granny that lives here in Victorville. Sometimes she has joined us here on the program. Victorville, guys. Here today in Victorville, we don't just see tremors here. We don't just see tremors here. We have some minor earthquakes here as well. Over in the top right, this is 4:29 a.m. this morning. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. 4:29 a.m. this morning. Then, 5:54 a.m. this morning. Another 2.5, 2.6 earthquake on the green line. Now, it looks like there might be one or two other 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes here. But all the rest of these are all tremor activity on the San Andreas Fault at Victorville, California. No, nobody felt these earthquakes. Nobody felt any tremors. Nobody felt any minor earthquakes as well. They can only feel 3.0 and larger earthquakes here in Victorville, California. But these earthquakes happen on the San Andreas Fault. I want to make sure everybody realizes what's going on here. This is also important. Okay? Now, let's go over to Glen Ivy, California. Orange County, California. North of Lake Elsinore. Glen Ivy. Look at this. Look at all the tremors here. Yes, we have a couple minor earthquakes. We have a couple 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes here today. Look at all this activity. Yet I was going to show you the Lake Elsinore one, but they don't show anything at all. Not one single tremor at Lake Elsinore. There are, but they've scrubbed them off. Heaven forbid they show them. Heaven forbid they show them. Occasionally on the USGS map they show the tremors here, but not today. Okay? Let's keep going here. Let's go over to Chino on the northeast side of Los Angeles. Chino, California. Several people in the chat have asked about Chino, California here. Look at this. In the past year in Chino, we've had minor earthquakes. In the past, we've also had a couple 3.0 earthquakes here. Not today. The United States Geological Survey, with the help of Caltech, has scrubbed almost all of the seismic activity off the seismogram here in Chino, California. I believe, yes, there are earthquakes, minor earthquakes here in Chino. But again, they're not showing them. They're not showing them. I have a friend here that lives in Chino. Several friends live here in Chino. They tell me they feel earthquakes here. 3.0 and large earthquakes here. But they don't show them here very often. USGS and Caltech is guilty. They're guilty of scrubbing the earthquakes off the data sheet, the seismogram. Scrubbing it off. Up until 2 weeks ago, we were seeing more earthquakes here in this area, all throughout Los Angeles County. They're scrubbing more and more data off the seismograms because they don't want anybody to know what's going on here. We know for a fact that earthquakes are happening all over Los Angeles. We've shown these to you before. Earthquakes just don't go away. Yes, they continue. But it is the agency that decides whether they're going to let anybody see those earthquakes or not. I just got through showing you Chino. Let's show you Del Amo, California, north of Los Angeles, north of Los Angeles City. The community of Del Amo. Look what we're seeing here. Del Amo before had tremors and minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 minor earthquakes all the time. The minor earthquakes have been scrubbed off the seismogram. Yes, today we are seeing tremors, long duration tremors here. Tremors happening almost every minute. Almost every minute here. All day long. From 4 o'clock till about 6:30, they show less of them. Then the seismic energy increases here. Then it's nonstop, constant. 1 minute to the next. These are minor tremors here. Minor tremors that cannot be felt. Del Amo, California. Let's continue here. I want to go to Fontana, to the east side of Los Angeles. Fontana. They didn't show any earthquakes in Fontana like they did yesterday, but there are earthquakes in Fontana. Look at this. In the past year in Fontana, you've had upwards of 10 3.0 earthquakes. Upwards of 10 3.0 earthquakes here. Yes, today, they are showing us tons of tremors here. Tons and tons of tremors. Some of them long duration tremors. They're showing us 2 minor earthquakes here. 2 minor earthquakes. On this bottom red line here, midway through the seismogram. This is 11:08. Actually, this is 11:23 a.m. this morning. 11:23 a.m. this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Minor earthquake. There's another one here. On this bottom black line. On this bottom black line. On the left-hand side, it's 1 p.m. Over here, this is 1:12 p.m. right before 1:13. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here. Yes, we have minor earthquakes here all the time. But again, they're not showing them. I believe the agencies are scrubbing the earthquakes off of here. That way they can say, Ron, you're not showing earthquakes. Because there aren't any. There are. There are. Earthquakes don't just go away. They don't just go away just because USGS says they're gone. They're still here. Fontana has 3.0 earthquakes all over the place, usually. I believe they're still there, but they're just not showing them. That's Fontana, California. Now, I've shown you that. Let's go south along the coastline to Laguna Niguel. Look here, guys. This also shows you that they are scrubbing the earthquakes. Every time I show you Laguna Niguel, each line here was full of 1.0 to 1.3 tremors. Full. Minute to minute, hour to hour. That's not the case here today. That's not the case here today. They have scrubbed almost all of the decent tremors here. By decent, I'm talking 1.0 to 1.3 tremors here. They scrubbed them because they want everybody to believe that nothing happens here in Laguna Niguel. They do, but the agency is lying about it. They're lying about it, guys. Now, let's go over to the city of LA, the city of Los Angeles. Downtown Los Angeles here. Okay, here we do see some tremors here. We see some tremors. There may have been a 2.4 earthquake here today. There may have been a 2.4 earthquake here today after 7:30 a.m. this morning. 7:35 a.m. on the blue line here. You see a line that's going down. If that's the case, we have a line going up as well. This would be a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake in downtown Los Angeles. In the past, we've seen 3.0 earthquakes here before. But again, 90% of the time, they delete the activity. They're hardly showing the tremors here. They're hardly showing the tremors. They want everybody to believe that nothing's happening here in Los Angeles City. It is. They're just not showing it. Sad. Let's keep going here. Now, I've shown you LA. Let's go over to north of Los Angeles, northeast Los Angeles to Mira Loma. Just south of Loma Linda where I showed you those earthquakes. Mira Loma, guys, look at this. Here in Mira Loma, we are seeing minor tremors here. Nothing but tremors here in Mira Loma. They said there were tremors up in Loma Linda. There are. There are. We've also seen 3.0 earthquakes here in Mira Loma. There may still be these earthquakes. They're not showing them. They're not showing them. I have a friend that lives here. She said to me early this morning when she called, Ron, I felt some shaking here at my house. Shaking here at her house. There may have been a small earthquake in Mira Loma, Loma Linda area today. But again, It's not showing on the seismograph. They do this all the time. Okay. Moore Park, California. The city of Moore Park is just north of Los Angeles. Look what we have here. Usually we've seen a lot more tremors here. Apparently they have erased tremors here, but they kept the earthquakes. They kept the minor and the small earthquakes here. Yes, there are minor earthquakes. 2.4, 2.5, and 2.6 earthquakes here in Moore Park. This afternoon, look what happened here. After 10:15 this morning, late morning, the red line on the left-hand side is 10:15. We go over here to the right. This is 10:25 a.m. this morning. 3.0 earthquake here. Multiple back-to-back 3.0 earthquakes, small earthquakes. That line is thicker, isn't it? They don't show the bottom of it, but they show the top. Small 3.0 earthquake here, back-to-back. Then what happens later? What happens 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later? Another 3.0 earthquake hits. This is 10:29 a.m. 3.0 earthquake. It lasts about 2 seconds and then it dies out and becomes a minor earthquake after that. At 10:30 over on the left-hand side of the blue line. Then after 11:15 on the left-hand side on the red line, we come over here to the right. Guys, this is 11:26 a.m. this morning. 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 earthquake here in Moore Park, California, north of Los Angeles City. Then what happens after 12:22? Actually, 12:26 p.m. this afternoon. 12:26 p.m. this afternoon. Another 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. Moore Park, California. We have tremors. We have 1 or 2 minor earthquakes. And we have a couple, 3 small earthquakes. 3.0 earthquakes here. Unreal. Moore Park, California, just north of Los Angeles City. Back-to-back cities, literally. I believe you get on the 110 freeway out of Los Angeles, it'll take you to Moore Park. I've driven it. I've watched police chases on YouTube from KTLA, Channel 5, and Channel 7 out of Los Angeles. Yeah. Moore Park, California has earthquakes. Guess what? It doesn't stop. Mount Wilson. Yes, there's a telescope at Mount Wilson. There's also many radio and television repeaters on top of the mountain. Mount Wilson also has tremors here. Look at the tremors here. All day long. But what happens here early this morning? On that green line. 2:55 a.m. this morning. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. And then more tremors. Minor earthquake here, guys. Minor earthquake. Mount Wilson, California. Los Angeles County. Okay? Yes, we see earthquakes here at Mount Wilson all the time. Okay? Let's go over to Pardee, California. In Pardee, we've seen minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. We've seen 3.0 earthquakes and larger here. Today, I believe all that we saw here were 1.0 to 1.9 tremors here all day long. Pardee, California. I believe they're scrubbing the earthquakes because at Pardee here, we usually have some minor earthquakes here, a lot of them. A lot of minor earthquakes here at Pardee. They're scrubbing them, making sure nobody sees them. Rinaldi, the same thing. Very same thing. We've seen tremors here, like we're seeing here. We've seen minor earthquakes, many of them with a sliding wave. By a sliding wave, we see a wave going from one earthquake to another. Why? Because on this particular seismogram, guess what happens? There is showing magma headed to the volcano. There's a volcano east of Rinaldi. I'm going to show activity at that volcano in a few minutes. Today, they're not showing anything but tremors here. They're not showing any 3.0s. They're not showing any minor earthquakes at all. They probably are here, but they're not showing it because they have scrubbed the data. They scrub the data like they're showing us here. Every week I've discussed earthquakes here in Los Angeles. Every week they showed us more earthquake activity than they're showing us here, or last week as well. They're making sure that we don't know what's going on. They're making sure we don't know what's going on here. Now, I want to go from here to Anaheim. Anaheim, guys. Then I'll go to Long Beach. Then I'll go to the volcano. This is Anaheim, where Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm are. Yes, we've had 3.0 earthquakes here, small earthquakes. Usually we have more earthquakes than this, more minor earthquakes. Usually we have back-to-back minor earthquakes all day long. Minute to minute, top to bottom, minor earthquakes. We hardly have anything to show here. All we're showing here, you hear, are tremors. We might have 1 2.0 earthquake here at all. That's all. This is very disappointing because for the last 4 years, we've had back-to-back seismic activity, minute to minute, second to second seismic activity here in Anaheim, California. They're not showing it. They scrub the data. This is very sad. This is very, very sad. Let's go over to Long Beach. Long Beach. Look at this. This is another area that's had back-to-back seismic activity. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes for years now. Now they're not showing much of anything. Yes, they are showing tremors, tiny tremors. Usually we've had 1.8, 1.9 tremors, which are a lot larger than showing here. We've had minor earthquakes 2.0 to 2.9 as well. And yes, here in Long Beach, we've also seen 3.0 small earthquakes. They're hardly showing anything here in Long Beach at all. Guys, there are earthquakes here in the Los Angeles area. They're choosing to not show them. They are erasing the data. They are erasing the data. Let's go east of that volcano I was telling you about. Walnut, La Puente, California. Look what we're seeing here. Down beneath the cities of Walnut and La Puente, there is magma. The cities are built on a volcanic rock called the caldera. Walnut, La Puente are cities that have been built on a volcanic rock. Down below that rock, down below that caldera, there is magma hammering away at the bottom of the floor, the bottom of the ground here. That's why we're seeing earthquakes here. That's why we're seeing earthquakes here. Look at 445 here, 448. 448 this morning. We had some tremors for about 20, 30 seconds. Then all of a sudden we have a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake sequence. A 3.0 to 3.5 earthquake sequence for 2.5 minutes. Small earthquakes here caused by magma down beneath the surface. Look what happened at 4:56, 4:57 this morning. Minor earthquakes in this case. Tremors starting, then minor earthquakes after that. All the way up to 5 a.m. Then the tremors continue for 2 minutes. Tiny 1.1, 1.2 tremors continue for 2 minutes. Then they die off. What happens after 5:05 a.m. this morning? 5:05 a.m. this morning. We go from very tiny 1.0, 1.1 tremors, in this case, all the way up to at least 3.0, 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes. 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes here after 5 a.m. this morning on the black line. After 8 a.m. on the blue line there, 8:30. Those are minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. They last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. 5 minutes of 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes caused by magma down beneath the surface here. Then, let's go here on this red line here. After 9:15, after 9:01, minor earthquakes continue here. They start and continue here. Almost 3 minutes of minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.6 minor earthquakes. Then we go over 1, 2, 3 minutes later. 3 minutes later, we have 3.0 earthquakes here. 3-point earthquake sequence here, lasting 1, 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes of 3.0 small earthquakes here. Walnut, La Puente, caused by magma down beneath the volcano, or down beneath the caldera, down beneath these cities. People here in Walnut, La Puente are feeling these earthquakes. They feel them every day. This happens every day, in not one day without them. Not even one day without them. Then what happens after 11 a.m. this morning? 11:01, 11:02, 11:03, 11:04, 11:05. Tiny 1.0 tremors until 11:05. Then after that, they go from tremors to minor earthquakes, up to 2.9 earthquake here. From 2.0 to 2.9 earthquake status here. Yeah. That's what happened today, guys. That's what happened today. I pulled this diagram just before 4 p.m. today. so you can see what happens here in Los Angeles. Seismic activity, you guys. Seismic activity. Now, I want to go over to the Imperial Valley. I want to show you what's going on in the Imperial Valley. I tried to get seismograms from the city of San Diego. There are none. They have taken the seismographs down. There is no seismograph available from the Scripps Institute of Oceanography. The Scripps Institute of Oceanography is being led by UCSD, University of Southern California, San Diego. They've taken down the seismographs. They're not showing any data at all from San Diego City. Caltech, that has 3 seismographs in San Diego, is also taking those seismographs down. They're not showing any activity in San Diego at all. But over here in the Imperial Valley, there is seismic activity. On the eastern side of the Salton Sea, we have a place called Bombay Beach. Bombay Beach, look what's happening here. This is on the Salton Sea, on the east side, on the San Andreas Fault. This is what happens every day here in Bombay Beach. 3.0, 3.5, even sometimes 4.0 moderate earthquakes. A friend of mine was here last year. He told me that there were 4.5 earthquakes happening here at Bombay Beach on the San Andreas Fault, on the fault. Look what happened here after 5 a.m. Just before 5:02, at least 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here. We are seeing upwards of the 3.3 earthquake, but again, the top and the bottom of this sequence have been cut off, which leads me to believe this was at least a 3.5 earthquake, lasting 2 minutes. Lasting 2 minutes. Then we jump down here to 5:30, 5:31, 5:32, 5:33, 5:34. Term activity, 5:35. Now we are getting into minor earthquake activity that suddenly turns into at least 3.3, 3.5 activity. Yes, guys, we're seeing 3.5 earthquake activity here. They cut it off. They cut off the bottom and the top of the sequence, which means we might have actually had a 4.0 earthquake here at Bombay Beach today. We are seeing 3.5 activity here just after 5:35 this morning. But the seismograph has been cut off here. The seismograph they cut off at 3.5. This may have been as large as a 4.0 moderate earthquake here at Bombay Beach. What happens after 6 a.m.? 6:07 a.m. 3.0, 3.3 activity, lasting 1, 2, 3 minutes. 3 minutes of activity, guys. 3 minutes worth of activity. That's insane. That's insane. What happens right before 8 a.m. this morning? 7:55 on the right-hand side. Actually, that's wrong. After 8:14 this morning, we had some tremors, and right before 8:15, we had some minor earthquakes. 2.7, 2.8 minor earthquake. This seismic activity continues after 8:15. on the red line. Goes over to 816. This is 2.7, 2.8 activity. 817, 2.8, 2.9 activity. It gets larger. 3.0 activity at just after 8:17 a.m. Then diminishes for 45 seconds. Goes back down to tremors. Then after 9:30, 9:31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 9:35. 3.0 earthquakes again. Almost a minute and a half. 3.0 small earthquake activity here. Look what happens here, guys. More seismic activity. 11:09 a.m. 11:09 a.m. on the black line. Almost 2 minutes of 3.3 activity. They cut this one off at 3.0. This may have been 3.3 activity here, maybe larger. Almost 2 minutes of small earthquake activity here. Right here. 11:15 on the left-hand side. Come over 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 minutes later. Tremor activity. Within 45 seconds later, we have a 2.3 earthquake. Turns into a 2.6, 2.7 minor earthquake. Those minor earthquakes continue for 2 minutes. 2 minutes here. What happens over here at 12:13 a.m. or 12:13 p.m. on the right-hand side and lower side here? 12:13 p.m. this afternoon on the black line on the right-hand side. 3.0, 3.3 activity here. A minute and a half of small earthquake activity here. Then after 12:41 p.m. 12:41 p.m. 3.3 earthquake here again. A 3.3 earthquake at least. 3.3 earthquake lasts 2 minutes. Then it comes down to minor earthquakes and again down to tremors. 12:51, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 12:50. 12:51 p.m. this afternoon. 3.0 earthquake again, lasting about a minute. 3.0 small activity lasting a minute. Incredible. Bombay Beach, California. Imperial Valley, California. Imperial County, California. Let's go over to the town of Imperial I told you about. The town of Imperial on the San Andreas Fault. Look at this. They're hardly showing any activity at all. This is sad. Very sad. We've had 1.0, 1.2, 1.3 tremors all day long usually. Literally all day long. We've had minor earthquakes as well, off and on all day long. In the past, we've had 3.0 earthquakes here in the town of Imperial. They don't show anything at all. They have scrubbed the daylights out of this seismograph. They scrubbed it off. That's sad. That's very sad. Now, if Juanito is here, Juanito, please come up in the chat. I'm asking you to come up in the chat because I want you to tell us whether you felt any of these 3.0 earthquakes in the town of El Centro. There's only a handful of 3.0 earthquakes here, guys. Yes, we have plenty of tremors. Plenty of tremors. 7:02 a.m. this morning, 3 points earthquake. Another 3 points earthquake. Just after 11:28 a.m. this morning, on the red line on the right, the lower red line on the right, on the next green line, another 3.0. Okay, that's 11:58 a.m. this morning. 11 a.m. this morning on the black line on the left, another 3 points earthquake. (11:57) on the green line, another 3 points earthquake. At 12:13 p.m. this afternoon on the next black line on the right hand side, 12:13 p.m. another 3 points earthquake here. The town of El Centro is moving. We've seen as many as 26 3 points earthquakes here in the town of El Centro before. Again, I believe they're scrubbing earthquakes off of the seismograph. We've seen a lot more 3 points earthquakes than this. This is pretty bad. This is pretty poor. Okay? It's bad enough that they turned off the Westmoreland seismograph. And before that, they turned off the Calipatria seismograph, where there were anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes on the Calipatria one. They turned it off. Let's go to Holtville. Let's go over to Holtville now. South Central Imperial Valley. Okay? This is over here on the east side of the San Andreas. Yes, we are seeing some tremors, lots and lots of tremors here. There may be 1 2 points earthquake here today. Just after 1:06 p.m. this afternoon. I believe that was a 2 points or 2.2 earthquake. All the rest of this is all tremor activity. They have scrubbed the large earthquakes off the seismograms. Scrubbed it off. They don't want anybody to know what's going on here. That's fairly sad. That's fairly sad. Because we know darn well what's going to happen. That southern San Andreas fault is going to pop. It's going to pop with a 7.5 to 8 point earthquake. It could be any day. It could literally be any day. The most likely place is southeast of Los Angeles. Southeast of Los Angeles before it goes into the Imperial Valley. When that happens, the entire LA area going into Ventura County over the northwest, possibly even over to Santa Barbara, are going to feel the power of that earthquake. All the way south into San Diego County, and all the way south over into the Imperial Valley, and all the way down probably into northern Mexico as well. 7.5, 8 points earthquake is what's going to happen. Okay? They're scrubbing the activity off the seismograms because they know darn well what's happening. They know darn well there's a large earthquake coming. They're hiding the data. They don't want anybody to be prepared for anything. Heaven forbid. The politicians know what's going on. The politicians have told the USGS to do this because the politicians want to keep their jobs. The politicians want to keep their jobs. That's the only reason that this is happening. This is a travesty. This is a travesty of great proportions here. A sad day. A very sad day, guys. Does anybody have any questions for me? I know I've been here a long time today. 2 hours. 2 hours. I've given you a lot of information. From Northern California up at the geysers, all the way south into Mexico, and all around the world. The USGS is hiding seismic activity all around the world. It's not just here in the United States. Although here in the United States they're hiding it because they don't want anybody to leave those areas. They know there's going to be deaths, people being unalived by the earthquake. They know there's going to be injuries. They know that. But they would rather have the boats there to keep them in office than having people make the decision to leave the area. We know it's going to happen. It's a matter of when. We don't know when. The San Andreas Fault is primed and ready. It's locked and loaded. This 7.5, 8.0 earthquake could happen at any moment. Literally. Does anybody have any questions? Grateful Girl is asking how Chino Hills looks. Tremors. All they are showing are tremors over in Chino. I showed this diagram earlier on this program. Just tremors. They probably have minor earthquakes as well. 2.0 to 2.8 minor earthquakes in Chino, California. That's usually what we've seen here. But the last month, they've been scrubbing the activity off the seismograms. They've been scrubbing the activity off the seismograms. It's a sad state of affairs. Sad state of affairs. Any questions, guys? Yes, Wild Willie, it's all about population control. Yeah. In this case, yes, they're going to blame it on a natural disaster. Unreal. Unreal. Guys, the time is far spent. There's a little remaining here. I want to share a scripture with you that's very important to me. This is in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 35. Paul here is talking to the Corinthians. Paul is talking here to the Corinthians. In chapter 7, he talks to them and answers special questions about marriage among all those called in missions. Paul extols self-discipline. In this particular verse, in verse 35, he says, "And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast out a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, which is good, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction." Pay attention, Lord, without distraction. Pay attention, Jesus Christ, without distraction. We have a lot of things going on in our lives. Lots and lots of things going on in our lives. But don't forget to pray. Don't forget to read the scriptures. Don't forget to pray and don't forget to read the scriptures, guys. Because in those scriptures you're going to find eternal life, which gift is the greatest of all gifts of God. I promise you that. When things happen, we may all be unalive, but we also, if we are Christians, if we have accepted Jesus Christ in our lives, and we do the things the Lord wants us to do, we may be unalive, but we'll end up in heaven together as a family forever and ever. May God bless us. to that end. May God bless us that we may be happy and feeling Jesus Christ in our lives. Our Heavenly Father exists. Jesus Christ is our Savior, our King, our Redeemer, our Deliverer, our all. The Holy Ghost testifies of Jesus Christ. He's a testator. We need him in our lives. Keep the Savior close. Keep the Savior close. Again, read your scriptures and pray. Pray as if everything depended on praying. And then exercise your own self-autonomy to move forward in faith that God is going to bless your lives. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it tonight or tomorrow as soon as the information becomes available. Please, guys, if you want to help support this channel, please do so to our PayPal down here, scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Our address is also scrolling across, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. We love you. We'd love to hear from you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. Take care of each other. Hold safe to that which is true. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Take care.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. you.